not him I wanted. Then do what you wanted.
When the smoke clears, who will be left standing as champion of the AT&T long-distance shootout? Will it be the Pacers' brash gunslinger Reggie Miller, the Spurs rifleman Chuck Person, Phillies' first-time All-Star Dana Barros, Chicago Bulls long-range bomber Steve Kerr, Miami's top gun Glen Rice, or hometown favorite Thunder Dan Marley? The league's best marksmen take dead aim on the top prize in an old-fashioned Western shootout. And it ought to be a beauty. We've got the best three-point shooters in the land in this contest, from Nick Anderson, Dana Barros, Scott Burrell, Steve Kerr, Dan Marley, Reggie Miller, Chuck Person, Glen Rice. It ought to be a beauty. And this year, remember, the line has been moved in. The line was extended as far as 23-9 at the top of the circle last year. As you're looking at the circle, this year it's 22 feet all the way around. Let's meet our competitors, and to do that, let's join PA announcer Jeff Munn.
And now, here are the competitors in tonight's AT&T long-distance shootout. His three-point bombs have added sting to the Charlotte Hornets' attack. Making his shootout debut, Scott Burrell. For the Wildcats fans, this marksman needs no introduction. He owns the highest three-point percentage in NBA history. From the Chicago Bulls, Steve Kerr. He's shooting 40% from the three-point line. The runner-up in last year's competition from the Philadelphia 76ers, Dana Barros. He's made more than 700 three-pointers in his 9-year NBA career. Representing the San Antonio Spurs, the rifleman, Chuck Person. The Miami Heat's all-time leader in scoring and three-point shooting, making his second appearance in the long-distance shootout, Glen Rice. This sharp-shooting swingman keeps defenses honest for one of the best teams in the NBA. From the Orlando Magic, Nick Anderson. His three-pointers took Indiana to the conference finals last season. An all-star and the heart and soul of the Pacers, Reggie Miller. And finally, the hometown favorite. He holds the NBA record for three-pointers made in a season from the Phoenix Suns, Dan Marley. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1995 AT&T long-distance shootout contestants.
All right, here are the rules. 3 rounds, each scored separately. We hope you've been with us over our more than a decade of covering this. You'll know what the rules are pretty well. You see the red, white, and blue ball. It's worth 2 points. There are 5 in each rack, so a total of 6 points per rack. If you hit them all, a maximum of 30 points in one round. First round, top 4 advance. Second round, the top 2 advance, and the scores don't carry forward. Here's the money, just pocket change that'll put these guys in an improper income tax bracket. $20,000 for first place, followed by 10, 5, and you see the rest. And we are ready to get underway. The players drew for who will be performing when in the first round yesterday. And the draws are Steve Kerr and Nick Anderson to go first. And down on my left will be Steve Kerr when we come back to the court. You see the all-time leader. And on the right will be Nick Anderson, the Orlando Magic all-time leading scorer. And so Hubie Brown will be following Steve Kerr and counting his number here. Doug will take a look at Nick Anderson, and you'll hear Charles in here whenever he's ready.
Well, I think it's interesting. Steve Kerr's going to go from left to right, and Nick Anderson right to left. So already a little strategy there to get started.
Main thing now is you don't want to drift on your shot. You want to be able to keep your eye on the rim as you reach for the ball. Big thing, follow through.
Nick Anderson off to a real good start, QB. He's hit his first 3. Making his first 4.
Kerr's 1 for 4.
Missed the money ball, so 4 out of 5 for Nick Anderson. This is his first one.
Kerr is a little bit warm right now. He just hit 3 in a row. 1 in a row.
1 out of 5 that time for Nick Anderson.
5 for 5 for Kerr. Remember, he's the #1 shooter in the league at 50%.
5 for 5 for Nick Anderson in the last rack.
When Steve Kerr misses, he's to the right. The
right of the rim. Nick Anderson getting a little flat on his shot, getting tired. He shoots the jump shot, only 1 out of 5 in that rack. Still has plenty of time. He has almost 15 seconds here. It's like he's fatiguing Hubie. His shot has gotten very flat.
Yeah, Steve Kerr has been long or long to the right.
Nick Anderson made one of his last 10 shots.
You can see definite fatigue also at this end with Steve Kerr. Looked like he was rushing a little more tonight.
Unofficially, Kerr had 13 points and Anderson 12. That's unofficially in the first round. Remember, this is not head-to-head competition. They shoot 2 at a time. There they are, Kerr with 13, Anderson 12. The top 4 of these 8 will advance, and Anderson missed 9 of his last 10 shots. Charles,
one question. Do you feel like with the line closer that you see guys shooting more jump shots from this line than they did in the past competitions where they shot more set shots? Do you think that's going to be a factor?
Well, I think the difference is the shorter distance make it easier to jump. And it's not a long shot, and I don't think you'll get fatigue as fast. But those two guys definitely seemed like they were rushing.
Yes, they were.
our next 2 are going to be, as you're taking a look at Nick Anderson here, who missed 9 of his last 10, are going to be one young man who's really lighting it up from three-point range with Philadelphia this year, Dana Barros, and he'll be shooting at the same time as Scotty Burrell. And Hubie will be following Dana, who will be down on our left, I believe. Whatever the case is, he'll be following him. Yes, Dana Barros. And Doug with Scott Burrell, they have 60 seconds. Remember, the scores to beat are 13-12. The top 4 of these 8 competitors will advance to round 2.
Now, Dana Barros was in the final last year versus Steve Price.
Scotty Burrell has made one of his first 4. He gets the money ball, so 2 out of 5.
Barros 3 for 5 in the money ball. Barros 0 for 3, everything short.
2 for 5 with Scotty Burrell, and he got the money ball, so he got both money balls. He's hit 2 of his first 3 from the top.
Barros likes to take the balls from his right side.
4 out of 5 for Scotty Burrell, and he's made all 3 money balls.
Right now, Barros is hit and miss.
Scotty Burrell is really shooting up. He's made all 4 money balls, 4 out of 5 of that rack.
Barros needed that money ball.
Made all 5 money balls. Scott Burrell, 3 out of 5 in the last rack. That was a terrific round for Scott Burrell.
Barros has been short an awful lot tonight.
That last 2 will count for Dana Barros, I believe. Let's get what their totals are. Remember, our first 2 competitors, Steve Kerr had 13 points. Nick Anderson had 12. This is not head-to-head, but it's going to be the top 4 of these 8 competitors will advance. Scotty Burrell hitting a barrage, getting 10 points from the red, white, and blue money ball with 19 points, and Barros with 9. So right now it's Burrell, Kerr, Anderson, and Barros in that order.
When you see Scott Burrell from the top, he got into a nice rhythm. His shot looked good. His timing was good. You see him look down, get the ball out of the rack, get his eyes right back on the target. And the real key here, guys, was he made all 5 money balls. That gives you 10 points. That's a big jump. That gives you almost 5 extra shots.
Now, Dana Barros struggled. He was usually short. And you're going to see an interesting thing. He's second in the league. He's shooting 49%. He was in the finals last year, and it's the old story. Tonight was not his night. He could never get into the one word we keep saying, the rhythm.
And you know what, Hubie, when you start out cold, sometimes you start rushing to try to get it back, and it's when you really need to slow down.
It's interesting to watch whether they take the ball across their chest or they run around the rack and just pick it up and keep their eyes. Each guy, has his own style.
Next competitor, Chuck Person, will be on the left. Maybe you'll follow him. Glen Rice on the right. They'll have 60 seconds. Top 2 scores so far, Burrell 19 and Kerr 13.
Now, Chuck basically is a standstill shooter.
Glen Rice also being very, very meticulous and methodic in his shot. Makes 2 of his first 5.
Same with Person.
Drifting a little bit left here, Glen Rice. This time a little bit right. His balance does not look good. He makes 1 of his first 4. The money ball, he does not get to 1 of his 5 in that rack.
Now, Chuck right now looks like, he needs to hit like 3 in a row.
That's what Glen Rice has done. He's hit 4 in a row, Hubie, and 5 in a row, including the money ball. So on the top of the floor, he got himself in rhythm. I think Glen Rice is going to have to pick up his pace a little bit, though.
This is the deepest point for them to shoot at. Chuck Person just has not been able to get into the rhythm.
Glen Rice has got a terrific rhythm going right now. He's going to take it right down to the wire. The money ball does not go, but he had the best rhythm of all the shooters that I saw in the first 2-3 rounds there.
Chuck Person hit that money ball just at the buzzer. It will count. We had him unofficially for 14 for Rice and 12 for, we're going to go 16 for Rice and 15 for Chuck Person. And that would put them up in the standings here. And Charles Barkley, who's with us. Charles, as we take a look at the replays for the shooting here of Person and Rice, of course, Chuck Person, one of your former Auburn alums.
I think what you saw there was these guys are definitely standing jump shooters. And this situation might be difficult for both of them because you do have to rush a shot. They're both standing jump shooting. They had to rush, and both of them felt to look a little bit uncomfortable.
You know, watch Chuck Person's left hand on the ball. Normally your left hand is flat. Look at his left hand. He gets a lot of left thumb into his shot, and therefore you have a tendency sometimes to be a little inconsistent. Now look at the left hand of Glenn Robinson. When his hand comes off the ball, you see very little left thumb into his shot, more of a right hand shot. That's where you get the classic release and the good rotation.
At this level, it's the old story. It's style. It's style, and we see a lot of guys do things differently, but they have the athletic ability to excel.
There you see Scott Burrell leads with 15 points as Person, 14 Rice, Kerr with 13, Dan Marley, Reggie Miller, our next two competitors.
Bob, I really like for people to watch Reggie Miller here. When he shoots the ball, his right hand actually crosses over his left when he snaps. I've never seen a great shooter be able to do this, but watch his right hand cross his body in front of his left. Reggie's not even going to take his warm-up off here.
Oh, air ball by Marley.
2 out of 5 for Reggie, and he got the money ball.
Marley's only 1 for 5.
Reggie's in a nice rhythm. Reggie gets both money balls, and he gets 3 out of 5 in that rack. He's in a very smooth rhythm right now. Very effortless shot.
Everything with Marley is herky-jerky. Nothing is smooth.
Reggie gets the money ball and 3 out of 5 in that rack also.
Well, Marley caught that money ball. He needed that. See, he's all over. He's long, he's to the right, he's to the left.
Reggie's got plenty of time here. He's in a nice rhythm. He's made 1 out of 3. Make that 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4. Here's the money ball. 3 out of 5 in the last rack.
Marley missed all 5 and only made 8 points. But you can see, he was like a scattered shotgun today.
Maybe too much coaching with Mike Hoban for the $1 million shot.
I've always felt Marley was one of these real streaky guys. He has a tendency to get on or he can get off. And when he gets off, it's hard for him to get back in rhythm.
Well, you know, Doug, he only shoots it at 39%. He's 32nd in the league. You know, he's not, your definition of him was perfect. Where at the other end, Reggie Miller is 10th in the league. He always shoots over 40%.
Dan Marley only 9. He will not advance. Reggie Miller with 17 probably will, as we take a look at Reggie Miller again.
Listen, Reggie's doing the Larry Bird, keeping his sweatshirt, keeping the sweatsuit top on.
That's what I said. He didn't even take his jersey off yet. I mean, just...
Charles, why did you never enter this three-point competition?
Oh, they wouldn't let me. That's true. Hey, you know what? That's the reason y'all got me over here, because I think it's a disgrace that I'm not in this contest. I mean, I'm shooting 30%.
You could hit these.
You remember what happened when Michael wanted to get into the three-point shooting, too?
Oh, I don't mind. I mean, I might get one of my hot streaks. I'm a streak shooter.
The operative word there is might, Charles.
And you see Dan Marley had some problems there. So here's who's going to advance. Burrell, Miller, Rice, and Person will advance. Kerr, Anderson, Barros, and local hometown favorite Dan Marley do not. We'll be back with round 2 right after this. Back to the semifinals of the AT&T long distance shootout. Our 4 who advanced from the group of 8 are Glen Rice, Chuck Person, Reggie Miller, Scott Burrell, and they will shoot in that order from left to right. Rice, Person, Miller, and Burrell. The interesting thing to me is Scott Burrell only took 6 three-pointers all last year. This year, he has taken 149. Now, the first one will be Glen Rice, and here's where Glen got his big points. Look at the shorter 22 right at the top of the arc.
Oh, everyone likes that spot. You know, if you were going to shoot against Glen Rice right now, you would take him to the top of the circle.
No
Bob.
question about it. It's my favorite spot.
Well, you know, interesting, I think also, too, is, you know, when you double team the post, many instances that first pass out is that top of the circle shot. That's where guys practice a lot.
1 year ago, the high for the first round was Dale Ellis at 20. Scott Burrell had 19. The guy who won it, Mark Price, he only had 15 in that first round, but came in with 21 and 24.
So look out for Glen Rice. Remember, 22 feet all the way around this year.
I find it interesting that he lifts his head and and his shoulders go back on the release.
Yeah, normally when you do that, the shot will fall short.
That's right.
Got the money ball.
See, he goes to the other side and he gets it over his right, so he doesn't cross his body.
Main thing is to take time and lock in with your eyes.
Look at the top of the key again. Boy, does he love this.
He got him all this time.
Man, oh man, does he make hay up there.
I think the thing you're seeing is Glen Rice does not like to shoot going to his right. That's why he goes to that side of the rack. He prefers to go left when he makes a shot.
He's got a good rhythm right now, and I thought he had a good rhythm in the first round also. He's not in a hurry. He's almost got the clock in his head that he's got plenty of time.
Got a good bounce, and he hit the money ball.
The old story, you have to have that good spin, and he had it.
That's that shooter's touch, Hubie.
That's right. Beautiful.
Glen Rice, Miami's all-time scoring and three-point leader, gets 19, and he has a very good start, Charles.
Now, were you just giving a scouting report on him during the course of the game?
Oh, he doesn't go right to shoot. He goes left. He's gonna make that. He got a great jump shot. He's a very streaky shooter, but he wants to go left.
You know, a lot of people would say, Charles, now why would a right-handed shooter like to go left to shoot and not go right? I always felt I shot better going left because your shooting hand was right at the basket rather than have to shoot against your body. And a lot of people don't understand, for a right-handed shooter, in many instances it's easier to go left.
It is. It's definitely a lot easier. But you played?
Long time ago. That's when they had laces on the ball, Charles.
You were the #1 pick in the draft, weren't you?
1973.
Oh, wait a second.
Charles, you made me blush. You
Come
made
on,
me
now
blush,
reach in your
Charles.
pocket right now. Reach in your pocket.
As you see, Glen Rice with 19 points. He hit 4 money balls, and at one point, Glen Rice hit 7 in a row. If you think that's good, Craig Hodges hit 19 in a row.
That was one of the most spectacular things I'd ever seen in a playoff.
That's right.
I mean, in the competition.
Chuck Person is up next, and you see he too did very well from up at the top and over in the corner when he finished. He's going to start where he only hit 2 balls in the first round.
Thing to watch about Chuck, there is not a big elevation. It's basically a little hop. He just elevates just a slight bit off the floor.
He has a tendency, if he misses, his shot gets flat. He has to make sure he gets it up to the basket and doesn't just get front rim.
Looks pretty flat here.
He missed 3 there, and all of them hit front rim. Look at his left hand. Look at his left hand and his left thumb. He sort of squirts his shot at the basket.
Doug, it is effortless.
Yes, it is.
You know, it's just like glides out of his hand.
He's got great rotation on his shot. Nice rhythm. He's nice, smooth, nice follow through. His balance is good. Boy, they like it up at the top. They got all 6.
They all do.
Didn't Hot Rod Hundley have looking down the barrel? Isn't that what he always says?
There you go.
Looking down the barrel.
The rifleman, Chuck Person from Auburn, now playing for the San Antonio Spurs. Got the money ball.
Say his three-point shooting could be a major factor for the San Antonio Spurs in the playoffs. Dennis Rodman's a big one in the rebound.
So only 16 for Chuck Person. Our first shooter, Glen Rice, had 19. Person now with 16. And the top 2 will advance. You see Scottie Pippen right in the back there of Chuck Person, along with some of the other All-Stars like Anthony Hardaway. Let's have a look at that hop you're talking about.
Now you're going to see it. You know, there's very little elevation. It's basically a little bit of a hop. He likes to grab the ball, so he does not bring it across his chest. The other factor in this shootout is that when you get to the last station, you cannot drift on your shot. And that's what you got to try to do. Concentrate and elevate, and then just shoot through with the good follow-through.
And normally as a right-hand shooter, your left foot is your pivot foot. And what you want to do is you want to step in, and your right foot gets slightly ahead of your left, and you get your elevation and you get your power.
Come on now, let's take care of the Auburn guy right now, Charles.
Well, he's the second best player to ever come out of Auburn. That's what I heard.
And now
he's the best player in his family, though. For right now.
You know, he lost the Baby Ruth shootout to his little brother this morning.
Well, we had that rigged so a guy from Phoenix can win it.
That doesn't surprise me. Glen Rice with 19 and Chuck Person with 16. And next up is the man who never met a shot he didn't like, Reggie Miller. And his shot pretty good balance, except for that left wing over there. He had 17 points in the first round.
Now this says a lot about guys where they like to shoot on the floor. Let's see if this trend continues, or maybe on the other side he picks it up this time. Now that's an effortless shot too, Hubie. I'm not so sure that he doesn't have the best range of anybody in this competition.
I just wish he would slow down a little bit.
Yes, a little quick.
Yes. That's
a little bit better.
See, that's where he gets his shot a lot, at that area on both sides of the floor.
Missed both of the money balls. If he doesn't beat 16, he won't advance.
He needs a couple money balls. That would really send him over.
And there's that flick of the hand.
Needs 16 to stay in the running.
Well, you can see right behind him, he's got excellent rotation. That was beautiful.
He loves those two angle areas.
There's 15. There's 16. There's 17. 19 for Reggie Miller. Strong finish. Alonzo Mourning, Patrick Ewing.
They're upset because Mourning wanted Scotty Burrell to advance, so he was upset there.
He really came on strong in his last two stations.
But again, not panicking. He's been in the competition before, and he slowed himself down. Hubie, as you said before, look at his right hand now as it crosses over his left. Hubie, have you ever seen anybody shoot the ball like that with that kind of accuracy?
That's right. You would think that the ball would spin out on him.
Or it would also go right on you. But here's this great finish.
But you could see he was hurrying a tad too much in station 1 and 2.
But did not panic, and his experience, I think, helped him get himself on track. He had that shot clock in his head.
And he hit 12 of his last 14. So you see, Glen Rice had 19, as did Reggie Miller. And so now we take a look at Scott Burrell. And I told you before, he took 6 shots 2 years ago, all year from beyond the three-point arc. This year, he's shooting 64 of 149 for 43%, and he has really stepped up to this new, shorter 22-foot line.
Well, he's 14th in the league.
Scott Burrell off to a tough start.
Shot's a little flat right now. You got to get it up.
Yeah. He must slow down here right now. All right, now he's in a nice rhythm.
See, he's a jump shooter. He really used a lot of legs. It'll be interesting to see if he gets tired on the finish right now, if he's able to finish strong.
9 for Burrell. He needs 19 to advance.
Boy, he's really shooting the ball well.
Yes, he is.
That's 15. This is going to be close.
Better take his time.
That one didn't get it. 17. Now the top 2 shooters advance, and they are Rice and Reggie Miller.
Oh, that last one was a heartbreaker. That one was in and spun out.
Charles, give us your thoughts on this here.
Well, that was he knew he needed to make that last shot, I think, and that was a great effort, though.
Say how close the competition is, though. His goes and Reggie's doesn't, and he advances and Reggie stays home. So that's how close it was.
So the shootout for the 1995 AT&T Championship, Glen Rice and Reggie Miller, when we come back.
You got some.
The money ball is everything. We're ready now with Rice is going to shoot first at the coin toss. Glen Rice won the toss over Reggie Miller. Miller called it. Tails, it was head. Rice won toss and will shoot first. Charles, any thoughts on shooting first or second in this last round?
Well, it depends on how well you do. If you get off, seriously, if you get off to a good start, the guy's going to feel a little pressure if he's shooting second.
60 seconds, Glen Rice.
So far tonight, not one player has made 20 points.
With a shorter line.
He's got a nice rhythm.
Yeah, he does. He's bringing down range.
A nice high-arching shot.
He hadn't hit many.
Better range some more.
Now that top has been good. That top of the circle is where he is really caught up in his competition. Let's see if he can do it once again.
Needs this one.
My goodness, 4 out of 5 and didn't even hit the rim on 4 of them.
Remember, previous scores don't come into play here. It's simply head-to-head competition between Glen Rice and Reggie Miller.
If he posts 18, that's going to be tough to beat.
He gets 17. The all-time record is 25.
With 19 in a row, as you had said before.
Craig Hodges
That's amazing.
has the all-time record for most points made. Of course, this year there will be a new three-point champion because Mark Price, with his injury, couldn't come in to enter here. So let's take a look at Glen Rice again.
Well, this is his area where he's buried them all night long. It's the comfort zone.
Classic jump shot. Look at the nice follow-through. And Hubie, just to expound on your point, he made 13 out of 15 from the top in the 3 rounds. Look at the nice follow-through, the nice rotation. You know, he does move his head back a little bit, and I'm surprised that with his head moving that he has that kind of success. But you know what? Again, it's what you get used to in Comfort. I mean, the thousands upon thousands of shots that this man has shot in his career.
This year, he's 8th in the league at 46%, so you know he drills them.
Here we go. Reggie Miller has to beat 17 to be the 1995 AT&T Long Distance Shootout champion.
Let's see if Reggie can give us one of those Game 5 performances in New York that we saw.
Good start.
Reggie doesn't look like he's on balance in that corner. He looks like that last shot he's taking, he's moving before he gets it off.
Definitely drifting, Doug.
Big shot, money ball. Let's see what he does from the top here now once again. Boy, they love looking down that top.
No.
Oh. He's moving too quickly on his money ball to get to the next rack.
Yeah.
Got to beat 17. Still in there, though.
He needs his money ball this rack.
He didn't get it.
He's done. He can't win it now.
He can tie with all 6. He's out of there. Reggie Miller is not able to catch Chuck Person. And we have a new AT&T Long Distance champion. Glen Rice is our new Long Distance Shootout champion with 17 points. Glen Rice. Miller officially got 14 on his last spin around the racks, and Glen Rice is our new champion.
All-Star Saturday Night on TNT is brought to you by AT&T for the life of your business.
We have a new champion in the AT&T Long Distance Shootout just concluded here from America West Arena. Miami's all-time scoring and three-point leader wins it, Glen Rice. He beat Reggie Miller in the championship round. Scotty Burrell was third, Chuck Person fourth, and here's the presentation of the AT&T Long Distance Trophy to Glen Rice. David Robertson, the VP of Advertising and Promotions for AT&T, with the presentation. And now let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, Bob, I'm saying between the two finalists, first Glen Rice, you won the toss, you put the heat on. What was the decision there? Why'd you want to go first?
Well, I thought if I went first and put up a lot of points, then it'd put a little pressure on Reggie, and worked out to my advantage.
As you were moving around, it seems as soon as you got to the top of the key, Hubie and Doug were talking, you felt comfortable. That's where you got your momentum, the rhythm, the confidence.
I was rushing the shot a little bit, and I was a little nervous. I'd never been into the final round, and I just wanted to relax, and once I got into the groove, it became much easier.
Larry Bird, Craig Hodges, Mark Price made a habit of winning this. You plan to be back and do this twice, 3, 4 times?
I'll do it as many times as it takes.
Well, Reggie, you've done it 4 times. Second time you've been in the finals. What happened? We mentioned at the beginning, possibly rushing a little bit, drifting.
Yeah, I probably drifted a little bit on the first rack, but I caught my composure in the next 2 racks. I just couldn't put the red, white, and blue balls down. I made a lot of the other regular shots, but I think Lee did a good job, because if I really got that coin toss, I was going to try to go first. So he made the right decision.
Maybe you needed a New York Nick in your face and Spike Lee on the sidelines.
Yeah, maybe I should have flown him in for this special occasion.
Well, good luck tomorrow. The first Pacer to ever start an All-Star game.
Thank you.
Okay, Bob.